So, Steve, first of all, then, really busy week. You've got to be pleased with the showing of the side, though.
Well, we couldn't have wished for a better start, considering the fixtures that you've got. But as I keep saying, that's the Barclays Premier League. It's such a difficult place to play. It's such a difficult place to get a result. And but certainly with the results we've had and the points we've got, considering we've been to Newcastle, Chelsea and Man City, then of course we've got to be pleased. But I keep saying we've done nothing yet. You know, we've had a decent start, that's all it is. And the winter's upon us in the next couple of weeks. We've got to make sure that we maintain it and make sure that we don't just fizzle out, which has happened to a lot of clubs.
A lot was made of your return to the North East last weekend. You must have been incredibly pleased with the side's performance and the character that the team showed as well.
Well, for them, the way they played was the most important thing for me. And of course, all the hullabaloo about me going back there and all the rest of it is really, you need your players to go and turn up for you. And they were terrific last week. Every single one of them. To go and win at Newcastle doesn't happen very often in front of 50-odd thousand. But it wasn't just the manner of getting the result. It was the way we played. Really pleased me. Big crowd, big atmosphere, big stadium. You need big players. And last week we had that in abundance.
Yeah. And lots been made in recent weeks of the team's goal scoring record and how they've struggled for goals. But you must have been very pleased to grab 3 from open play like in the manner you did as well.
In the manner we did and the way we played, of course, because I've said it before. It's very, very difficult for a club like ours, to be free scoring in the Premier League. Where to go and get somebody who scores you 20 goals in the Premier League costs you 35 million now, and it's very, very difficult. So. However, what we have to do is just keep sticking to it and making the chances and hopefully convert a few. And last week, thankfully, we did that very, very well.
Yeah, and just a couple of days later, back here at the KC Stadium against Huddersfield in the League Cup, chance for a few of the fringe players to shine in that one as well. How do you assess that a few days
I mean,
on?
it was an awful game because probably we made too many changes. But it enabled me to play a lot of the team who needed a game. In particular, people like Dudgeon and Fryatt, who have been out a long time. They needed to go and play. So in that respect it was good. We've got the most difficult of draws, but so we go to London twice in 3 days, but there you go. When you get to the last 16, any cup competition, then you're going to find it very difficult along the way, and certainly Spurs away is very difficult.
Yeah, and we just mentioned goal scoring. Nick Prospett's obviously getting on the score sheet the other night. He grabbed 4 for the reserves the other week. Does he sort of start to force his way into your thinking?
Well, Nick has always been capable of scoring a goal. That's why we brought him here. It's took him a while to settle, and I can only pick a team on its merit what deserves to play. That's what I get paid for, and the hardest part of the job is to make sure you pick 11, and you disappoint. I've got a squad of 25. I pick 11, so I disappoint 14 people, and Nick Prosciutto is one of them 14 people. Now, if he gets his chance, and he might do in the season, then I hope that he can continue to score the goals. He just needs to improve on his all-round game and still get used to the physicality of what England is.
Yeah, is he still getting used to that?
Yeah. I mean, it's took him a long time, but as I've said to people, Mena Figueroa, who I brought over from Honduras when I was at Wigan, I didn't play him for a year. I just let him quietly settle into life in England and settle into playing and the way England is, because we're totally different. People don't realise that it's totally different. I could take you to a game in Germany or France or Spain, and it's a totally different animal the way we play our football. So he'll adapt, he'll get better, and he's certainly getting better.
Bad news this week, obviously, the injury to James Chester, out for the next 6 to 8 weeks. How big a blow is that, given his start to the season?
Well, I've said it regularly. Yeah, that's where we need a bit of luck, and certainly Aaron McLean was the first one. He's going to be missing for the best part of 2 months. Then Corrin, now James Chester. We don't need any more, and that's where you need your luck a little bit for your squad to stay healthy. We've played 5 games and we've had 3 out of the 25 with serious injuries, so we hope that there's going to be no more, and we wish them a speedy recovery. Yeah,
obviously, given you know yourself, as centre-back James Chester, first time playing in the Premier League as well for him. Well, it's about building upon confidence, isn't it?
he's proven to all of us that I'd no doubt that he could play in the Premier League. He's got all the attributes to play in the Premier League, and he's really unfortunate because he was outstanding at Newcastle, just like he was last week, and the week before that as well against Cardiff, where I thought he was actually our best player on the field. So he's it's a shame for him, but that's what football is. He'll be back, and let's hope it's not too far.
Yeah, obviously it forces you to have a bit of a jig around for this weekend's game with West Ham. How is the squad looking ahead of that match, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, of course I've got to make a change there, and let's hope I pick the right one. We've got one or two possibilities who can play there. Of course, Figueroa's back as well, so let's hope I pick the right one to win us the game.
Yeah. West Ham, what have you made of them so far this season? And where do you see the strengths and weaknesses of that side?
Well, I know Big Sam very, very well, and of course if Andy Carroll was fit and Downing's fit and Joe Cole's fit, and they're a really, really good side, and he's assembled his side very, very quickly to get out of the Championship the way he did, to finish 10th last year. It was marvellous for him. And they're a typical Sam Allardyce team with a bit of flair in it and some good players in it, and of course they'll have a really, really rigid system which they all know what they're doing. It'll be a really difficult game, like it always is against the Sam's team.
But obviously one that you'll be very much looking forward to, especially in front of the home crowd.
We hope so. We hope we can hit the heights that we've done. That's the aim. That's what we've got to try and do if we possibly can, and hopefully we can get another result.
Yeah, and you're obviously unbeaten at the KC Stadium so far this year. West Ham haven't won away on their travels as well, so you must take some confidence from that. You've been
studying your stats in the first time interview. Marvellous. Well, that's key to us. That's key to us staying in the division, is we're home form, and the supporters have been terrific. Let's hope they can. It's another big full house. I'm here at the weekend, so let's hope they're in full cry and we give them something to shout about, and we'll maintain that record.
Yeah. Just one other thing, Shawnee Aluko, everybody's been talking about him. Obviously you'd be very keen to tie that deal up. Whereabouts are we up to that?
Well, we're still talking, and make no mistake, for any supporter out there, we're doing our best to try and obviously commit his future to the club, and every club faces it now with this Bosman situation, and it's one area where it's terribly frustrating for a supporter, a manager, everybody, because the players have got this freedom, of course they have. We have to respect that. We're doing our best to see if we can tie him up, and let's hope we can.
Has he given you any indication of where he wants to go?
He's very happy. The one thing he is, he's very happy. He's very happy here and enjoying his football. And I think with Shawnee, he's just delighted to be playing again, because he missed a large chunk of last season. And if he stays fit, then great. We'll keep monitoring and looking at it, and as I said, we're doing our utmost to try and draw to a conclusion if we can.
Okay, just finally on Shawnee Aluko as well. Obviously you mentioned how long he was out for last season. Obviously he's still coming back to match fitness as well. Yeah. How good can he be in the Premier League? Because we've all seen what he's capable of so far.
Well, I think all Hull City fans, if you've seen him now regularly, he's very pleasing on the eye. He's a terrific talent, and a really bright boy, and I hope for his sake that he can stay injury free, just to make a real fist of it in the Premier League, because for me he's got Premiership quality written all over him, and we're very pleased that we've got him and he's playing for us, because certainly he's a threat to teams and can add the goals to his undoubted ability. Then we've got a top player in my hands.